Hey, Miss Quana.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm about to start in a minute. I'm just getting everything done in the back end.
Okay.
We are live. Make sure you tap in. Okay, okay. What's going on, Miss Lady?
Oh, hey, what's going on?
I said, what's going on, Miss Lady?
That much. What's up?
Boy, you was in airplane mode, wasn't you?
Don't start. Happy Friday.
Right. It's Friday. It's Friday. Must be nice for those that's off this weekend, but we still here.
I mean, you know.
Yes, indeed. Let me see. Let me put all this up here. Kayla, what's going on, Mama? Kay, what's going on?
Hey, y'all. Okay, the one that's off for the next several days and stuff.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Must be nice. Casey, I'm here in spirit under this heating blanket. Jesus Christ. It is 89 degrees outside, and this girl is under a heating blanket. I digress, though.
Poor thing.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe. All right. I'm going to get started now. I just went on to send out the rest of my invites. All right. So, for everybody that's tuned in, welcome. Quail, what's going on, Mama? Welcome. This is the Woken Wild Podcast with your boy Sean. I got Miss Quana here with me. As always, appreciate her. Thank you so much.
No problem. No problem.
I'll
Hey,
say she's still in airplane mode a little bit, y'all. We're gonna wake her up a little bit. You need to get you a shot.
no, I don't. I'm good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Kayla said, Kay Williams, 100 degrees in Texas. You just made my rolls sweat. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because it's not even
Somebody else needed to.
here, and
Yeah.
I'm Yeah, I'm about to burn up.
Somebody else need to tell her because she ain't hearing it from us or whatever. And she said, "Don't judge me, Ricky Bobby." Yes, ma'am. Never judge me. Just trying to get you to see the light. But again, as I was saying, this is the Woke and Wild podcast. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I know it's Friday. Some of y'all got other things to do or whatever, but you took some time out your schedule to rock with us a little bit. So appreciate you for that. We normally go on Fridays, anywhere between 8 and 9 o'clock. Try to get you in for about an hour and a half or so, whatever, depending on what the time frame's like. But just to politic about some things that's going on in the culture, and anything that comes to mind or whatever. Always looking for more people to come up here, especially males. Man, I have a hard time getting my male friends to participate or whatever. They either out and about or they just don't want to get on camera or whatever. I guess because they might owe child support or something. But other than that, I don't know why. But if you females or males, but definitely males, definitely need to hear your voice in the culture just to get y'all perspective on a lot of things. So tap in with me, man. It's gonna be all right. You ain't gotta be shy or whatever. I like for people to come on camera or whatever because it gives you something to talk to and puts a face with the, discussion. But, to each his own, we'll work up to that. I just need some more participation as far as the from our male counterparts. So definitely tap in with me if you're interested. Again, we got a bunch of conversations coming up here in the future, or if it's a subject that you want to talk about, come on in. We can discuss it. I'm always about it. So before I go any further, Miss Quana, if you want to introduce yourself, tell the people a little bit about you.
I am Quana, well, Shaquana, go by Quana, um, 39. I'm from North Carolina, based. Um, I am the mother of a 14-year-old that is very expensive, and that's about
Yeah, I know what that means. So if y'all come at Quana, y'all got to come correct now. She says she already told y'all she got bills, so make
it.
sure. But yeah, definitely. So, it's been a long week or whatever. I ain't gonna hold everybody too long or whatever. We're just gonna talk about a few things. So, as I posted earlier in the week, the subject for tonight is breaking the cycle. And this is in all aspects, not just relationships, whatever. But the three things in particular that I actually, when I did my little research and put my notes down, we were talking about with family, uh, we were talking about relationships, and we were talking about what's the last one? Family relationships, and then just our love life or whatever. So, is there just to start off with a little question or whatever, Quana, is there anything that you are glad to see this, whether it be personal or in people that you know, that the circle has been broken about?
um, I would say it may not be completely fixed, but I will say I see it with some of my family friends, colleagues. I would say child rearing a little bit. Um, we're kind of well, for myself, I can say that when I was coming up, I didn't have that safe space to be expressive, without, being labeled as grown or, whatever. So that's one of the things with my son. I make sure, he has a safe space if, he's feeling a type of way, like come and talk to me about it. Let's come to a solution together. Things like that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I I applaud you for that because again, it's a lot of kids that don't have that safe place or that safe space to express themselves without fear of retaliation. So again, that's one of the things I try to work on with my son as well because I don't want him to change that cycle or whatever. Him not being able to express himself and speak his mind with me as well. So I definitely get that. And I would say for me, it's also more of the, and I know it's not everywhere, and I know it's not on all cases, but I think it's more of like the fathers being involved or whatever with the kids, whatever. Because it's a lot of kids that's been out here floating, and hurt kids grow to hurt adults. are kids that don't, they don't necessarily have both sides of that, equation or whatever to help them get through this thing called life. And so now you're an adult and you're wandering around lost or whatever, and you're lacking a lot of things. And I admit that I have too been in cases where I have been one of those adults. It's things to this day that I still lack in. So, and it's a little bit of both. Like not even just not having my parents around because I was adopted by the two parents, but just not knowing where I come from and always not feeling like you fit in. And the way that the older generation brought us up or whatever is how they was brought up, and it's a constantly changing world, and if they weren't hip to the fact of that. So what that means and on our end is we stuck out a little bit sometimes or whatever. So, other kids looked at you like you was weird or they were you were different, and no child wants to feel different amongst his peers. So, but again, that comes into play when you're an adult and then you're going through life struggling with things and then wondering why relationships don't work or why you don't let people get close to you. And in actuality, is you dealing with the trauma from your childhood, whether you know it or not. And it might not be no serious trauma. I ain't saying that nobody touched you or nobody just like, beat you to death or whatever, but because you didn't have that love from both sides or you were able to express yourself on both sides, that, that could carry over into adulthood. I see it every day. People that don't know how to talk to people. You got women out here thinking that, oh, they got to treat men a certain way because if not, then they're not a real man. Or, well, my daddy did it this way. Okay, I'm glad your daddy did it that way. But just because he did it that way don't mean my way is wrong either. So, we got to realize that everybody's not going to do everything 100% the way you want them to every time. Just like I don't expect nobody that I'm dealing with to do the things I want them to do 100% the way I want them to do it every time. You have to find that balance and you have to find that compromise. And without that, we're lost. So
That
just to, yeah. So just to touch down real quick on that little, healing begins with awareness. You know, we're growing up in a world where we have like a lot of people that lack that emotional expression. Because what's one thing that our parents always told us? What happens in this house stays in this house. You don't put our business out there in the street or whatever. So these and then people carry that with them or whatever. And to this day, they're still traumatized by it. So, what's one example I can use? Okay, I don't know. You might have been a bad child. You might not have been a bad child. I don't know your life, so but you know the situation. So, have you ever seen where a parent was mad at a child and told the child to come here, and the child said, "No, I don't want to. Come here, I'm gonna beat you." And that child, knowing that they about to get beat, walks towards that parent anyway. As an adult, we would never. If somebody called you right now and said, "Come here, I'm about to whoop your ass," you would never walk towards that person, or whatever, not unless you got that blicky on you or you know how to carry yourself or whatever. So why, as a child, our mind is just so trained that when they say that we're supposed to do it, or they say bend over, we're about to spank you, and you just bend over because you're scared of what's going to happen if you don't bend over.
hmm
So that's being trained. That's like a generational thing that oh, we gotta listen to them because if not, it's the end of the world. All bad things gonna happen. And I'm not saying that to say, hey, look, you need to grow up and be disrespectful to people or whatever, or not listen to your elders or whatever. But it kind of makes you think about things and how you know how things went down with the way we was raised or whatever. It's a couple times that something in my heart just said, nah, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's just not my ministry. I'm not doing it. And I paid for it. But again, I stood my ground or whatever. I don't know if it made me a better person or not, but I felt like at the time it was the right thing to do. I think, I don't know. I feel like every child is rebellious at some point with something, at least one time with their parents. What you do, Quana?
the only thing I ever really did, like, because at first I didn't like have a curfew or anything, and then like all of a sudden, oh, well, you need to be in the house at 12 o'clock, and then I'm just like, man. I mean, I tried it a couple of times, but I came in after that. But I mean, I didn't get in trouble or anything, but I don't know. I just wanted to test it out and see if what would happen, honestly, and nothing did.
See, that's the family God wanted me to have, but it wasn't so. Because ain't no way. If I would have done that, it'd have been over. And so you were blessed to have that, where you didn't have to worry about that or whatever. I
Mm.
think so. For me, I think like an example that I tell everybody or whatever is like one time my mom cooked something and I didn't want to eat it. What was it?
Oh, you
She
didn't.
had made. Say again?
You didn't eat then.
No, I didn't eat. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm saying that was the rules. Like you gonna eat what we cooked, or you not gonna eat nothing.
correct. And I could see if it was something simple or whatever. Like growing up, I was like, I didn't like peas. I didn't like, mushy food or whatever. But that stuff, I break down and go on and eat it or whatever. But it's like one time my mother cooked. What did she make? She made chitlins and she made pig feet. And that was the day that I said, you know what? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not eating this. And when my mom said, "Oh, you still got food on your plate," I said, "Yes, ma'am. I can't eat that." What do you mean you can't eat that? That's food. I said, "I don't like it." Well, you gonna eat it today? I can't eat it. No, I'm not. You not what? First thing she said because she thought she was hearing things. I said, "Yeah, I'm not eating that." So it came from a thing where, okay, well, if you don't eat it, then you going to bed hungry. Till I told her I'm not eating it. Oh, so you think you grown or whatever, or you gonna eat it? I'm not eating that. Okay, well, if you don't eat it, I'm gonna whoop you. I took off my belt and handed it to her because I'm not eating that. And I took my whooping, and she tried it. I think she tried it one more time while I was a child or whatever, and same result. I'm not eating that because I never talked back to my parents or whatever because first of all, I was scared to death of them, and number two, that just wasn't what we did or whatever. So, but when that happened, she kind of felt okay. Maybe he really not gonna eat it or whatever. So yeah, because yeah, they didn't know they was on their way to a nursing home. Adrian, what's going on, Mama?
Hey, Adrian.
Yeah, so I feel like little stuff like that, you know, it's just that self awareness of, hey, we're growing up in a different generation, and I don't want my son to ever be fearful of retaliation for speaking his mind. So that's one thing that I feel like, we trying to break those. I want my son to be able to come to me about anything. And I think for the most part he does or whatever. The only thing if I was to be a guessing man, I think the only thing that my son pretty much hides from me would probably be the fact that if he got a bad grade in school or something. But other than that, he pretty much comes to me about everything. So I'm not worried about that. Adrian, appreciate you coming in. Tonight we're talking about breaking the cycle, generational curses or whatever, and how we're doing things differently, or, just pinpointing the things that we had in our childhood that we're trying to do different now that we're adults. So we spoke on lack of emotional expression, uh, and survival over self-care. That's another one. Like, okay, as much as I want to go do this and take care of myself and go to get this done or whatever, I know we gotta live for the rest of the week or whatever, so let me go on and take care of this. So we have to get out of that mindset too or whatever, because God forbid if something happens to us, then at the end of the day somebody else gonna be here trying to take care of things that we couldn't take care of because we gone. So yeah, definitely take care of yourself. And I got to do better about that for myself because I need to take care of myself better or whatever. Some things I've been lacking in, so I can admit that. And but I'm working on it, so I'm a work in progress.
As long as you
I
work.
Absolutely. What's some things that you feel like you have to take care for yourself better or do better with?
Um, I'm a big procrastinator. I need to work on that.
Right.
And then I think I need to work on um. I'm trying to think. Just a couple of things. I know I'm a little bit stubborn. I have reasons, but that's something that I can
Mm.
give more grace.
Well, first step to solving the problem is admitting that you have one. So I'm glad that you admitted that you had
Hold
one.
up, hold up. What was the? Why did you have that look on your face, though?
When you admitted that, because you don't hear
Oh,
most
okay.
women,
Oh,
you
I
don't hear
thought you
most.
were agreeing that I'm stubborn, so I was just making sure.
I don't know. I don't think you. I don't think you're too stubborn, but the fact that you put it up yourself, whatever, means you know some things that you need to work on. So
Oh yeah.
Adrian said, "Amen." And K
Okay.
on time, like always. Example: as much as I want to get ahead, I gotta be a mom and take care of these kids. Amen. Amen. Kayla said, "Oh, thank you, Kayla." She said, "I'm proud of you, Sean. I appreciate you, Mama. Yeah, it's a struggle every day. And again, I'm not perfect and I got things that I need to work on. Matter of fact, I'll be honest with you. If I'm being honest with myself and I'm being honest with everybody else, it's some things that I'm behind the ball on that, at this age and who I am, I should already have this stuff taken care of. But again, I'm working on it. So it's a work in
Example,
progress.
not telling too much.
Say again.
Give us an example if it's not divulging too much.
Uh, so one is my health. Just taking care of myself or whatever. I know I need to go to the gym. I need to start back working out or whatever. And again, for me to be, how can I put this? I don't care because I try to be as open with people as possible. But for me to be as alone, I ain't gonna say alone, but as on my own as I am in this world or whatever, I don't have like things to make sure that I have that safety net to fall back on like most people that do the adult thing. So I need to work on that as well.
Like,
So yeah, I don't have the big support system like a lot of people have with families and stuff, whatever. And then there's times when I do get lazy and I'd be like, you know what, well, fuck it. I got other shit I could be doing or whatever. Not so much as fuck it or more like I'll take care of it later.
mm-hmm.
So I need to work on, prioritizing, making sure that I'm straight before anything else because, the party's gonna be here, the kickback's gonna be here, the beach is gonna be here, chilling with a pretty lady's gonna be here. I gotta prioritize that thing. So Adrian said my health and working out. Amen. Amen. I definitely need to make sure I work on that too. Kayla said, K Williams, bro, I'm finna ship you some head. Oh, okay. How does that work? Inbox me, Kayla.
Fine.
Agent. Agent said, right. He had a face when you said stubborn.
Didn't he though?
Jesus Christ.
You
I
did.
just said it because I'm not used to women admitting that or whatever. Most women think they got it all.
No, I've gotten a whole lot better though. I will say that. But I don't know. I kind of have my moments where once I get a certain way, like or feel a certain way, then that's just kind of what it is. And if it's like a dispute issue or something like that, I'm always going to be open to hearing each person out and things like that. I just have a problem with like say for instance you have a disagreement with somebody, and like you say things, they say things, and it doesn't have to just be like a partner, like it could be a family member or whatever.
Right, friend, family member.
That other person may be expecting an apology or something like that, and I like if I don't I'm not gonna apologize if I'm not sorry. You get what I'm saying? So,
Right,
sometimes that causes issues for people, but I just feel like I would be lying if I apologize. Like, why would I apologize if I'm not sorry for what I said or, like whatever. So I don't
right.
sense, but
So I have to practice humility when people tell me things or whatever, because I feel like, as well, not that I feel like, as smart as I am in some areas, I'm dumb as fuck in other areas, and I can admit that. Again, most people think, "Oh, Sean think he know everything." No, I don't know everything. I'll tell you right now, I can take a computer apart, put it back together like it's nobody's issue or whatever. It took me a while to get around to messing around with cars and stuff or whatever, because I'll call AAA right now, or like the simple stuff like handyman stuff around the house or whatever. That's never really been me. But again, as I get older, I start working on that stuff or whatever because I know these are things as a man that I need to know. So again, a little bit later than other because I ain't had that father figure showing me that stuff or whatever. But I'm getting there. So Quail said it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as you get it done. Amen. Amen. And Kay said, it's okay. You're taking it one day at a time, Sean. It will all come together. Absolutely, mama. Kayla said, no matter how many times you start over, you aren't giving up, and that's what matters. And Kay said, going back to school for me and working out. Yes, indeed. And Adrian said, I feel you, Quana. I'm the same way. I feel like that's being fake, and I'm not good at being fake. Amen. Yeah. I feel like if you can give if you can give advice to people or whatever, especially or when you can help somebody or you feel like you're helping somebody, you also have to be able to take it because a lot of people are good at dishing it out, but they can't take it or whatever. And then you have those people that surround you, friends and family, that when they do tell you about yourself, you want to come back at them like, oh, well, what about you? You ain't got it. No, this is not the time where you should be talking about them. If they're trying to tell you something to make you a better person or to help you out, you need to practice humility, take it in. Whether you want to respond or not, respond in your head. Don't do it out loud because you ain't gonna do nothing but make the situation worse or whatever. Especially when you got somebody rocking for you and they actually try to help you. So I had to learn that over the years, and that's one thing that I try to work on every day. So
I
the
I have an issue a issue when like people ask for advice or they want your honest opinion, but then don't like the answer that you give them. And I'm just like, well, why did you ask then?
right,
Like I'm not one of those people. I'm not gonna what you want to hear. You get what I'm saying? Like, understood. So a lot of times I don't know. Depending on who it is, I'm
it's
not
a
saying.
lot of yeah, it's a lot of times that we see this or whatever, especially with our adult friends or whatever, and then they go back and do the same exact opposite thing than what we told them about or whatever. And a lot of times we give people advice from our experiences and based off of stuff that we've been through or whatever. But when they go the other route, that's when I clam up. Okay, I didn't give you the advice that I'm supposed to give you or whatever as your real friend, and if that's not the route you want to go, cool. You know, some friends you can double back for. You can tell them or whatever, especially if you want to make sure that they. But when they start getting mad, when you start telling them again or whatever, oh, okay, say less. You got one time to get mad. It's over for me. So yeah, Kayla said we were all doing our best and working towards being our best self. We're doing great. So that leads like kind of into the next part or whatever. How do we do that? So how do we start healing? And again, if you feel like you got something from your childhood that's bothering you or whatever, there is no shame in admitting that. Because again, we all been through shit, whatever. I know I got a couple friends or whatever. Sexual assault. They had to go through it. They had to, and now that they're older, they speak on it. Uh, just your parents being abusive. Because back then that wasn't called abusive, that was being called being disciplined. But if we look back on it, a lot of that stuff was abuse. And they would never be able to get away with half the stuff they did today that they did back then or whatever. So yeah. Um, Seek help. Therapy. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. I've been to therapy before. There's nothing wrong with it. I had to deal with some things or whatever. And
Hmm.
again, therapy comes in a couple of different ways too, and I wanted to address that. It's not just you going to sit down with a shrink and they sit there writing in a notebook and tell you to come back next week. Therapy could be you, expressing yourself to a group of people, to a friend that you can confide in, or just dealing with that person. Like, hey, we were younger, or when this happened or whatever, this is how it affected me, and I'm trying to get over that or whatever. So I need you to know that, so in the future we can try to, avoid these situations or whatever. Sometimes just speaking on it is the best therapy there is.
Absolutely. And I feel like there's still a stigma around therapy. Because it was not too long after my grandma passed, and that was she passed in 2016. So I would say like around 2017. I felt myself out, I felt different, and I was like, well, maybe it's just grief, like it'll go away, things like that. But then I noticed that, like, even like at work, like some of my metrics started slipping and stuff like that. And we got this program at work where, they'll partner you with a therapist. You get like 5 free visits, EAP. And so I took advantage of that, and they partnered me with somebody in my area, and I started going. And it was like the more that I went, it was like, man, this is not just grief. Like, this is stuff from like way back that I never knew, like were issues that were, affecting me the way that they were. And another thing that I liked was I gave my preferences, African American, the gender I wanted, all of that. And it doesn't necessarily feel like therapy, it just feels like a conversation. But it's a
Mm.
conversation with somebody that doesn't know you, somebody that's not going to be biased and things like that. Um, so I tell anybody, like, do I can't hear you.
My fault. I was talking to my brother. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, man. A lot of times, a lot of people don't realize that our jobs have a lot of resources or whatever that we can actually get from them or whatever, as far as therapy and stuff. Especially if you work in like the health field or you work for the county or you work for the state, they have a lot of resources for that stuff. So definitely make sure that you look into that. Kay said, pace, pray, and be patient. Absolutely. It's not something that you have to get through in one day or whatever. It takes time. So pace yourself. Adrian said, that's a generational thing that has to be broken. Black families back in the day don't believe in therapy. Just pray about it. And that's true, Adrian. I will say this, but first of all, Casey, I know I joke all the time about stuff, but after my mom died, I went through abuse sexual from 7 to 15. A lot of trauma, a lot of crying, a lot of nights of a lot of issues. Yes. And definitely, we want to break those curses too or whatever because nobody should have to go through that, especially when they feel like, the person that's supposed to be protecting them is taken away from them. Um, I was about to say something based off of what Adrian said. Yeah, so if you notice back in the day, or I say back in the day, I feel like a old nigga right now, but back when we were growing up, you very rarely seen a lot anybody that actually had a mental disability. Most families, even though we know that today that they did have mental disabilities or they had things that they needed to work on, back then families was like, oh no, he just need to go to church, or mothers and fathers were like, oh, they just need their ass beat. No, something wrong with these people or whatever, because now this motherfuckers walking down the street looking trash cans and stuff. They needed some help and they didn't get it. So, and this is not like a blame place or whatever, now that we know, hey, it's time to get them some help.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I want to go on to the little next part right here. Now, unless anybody else has anything to say, please drop it in the comments. Again, if you are listening and you think somebody could learn from this or could hear this, make sure you share the podcast. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in on YouTube and Instagram as well. I'm just making sure I had some likes up there, but it wasn't no comments. So appreciate y'all.
Right, Adrian.
A- yeah, Adrian said yes to this day. They just say their nerves bad. I tell my mom that's anxiety, and she be like, "Nah, my nerves bad." Absolutely.
Yeah, cause my mama used to,
Yeah.
why your nerves so bad? Like,
Yeah. Why
I
you moving like that? Yeah.
know it was anxiety, but that's exactly what it was. So yeah.
But I will say this too, or whatever. No matter if it is anxiety or whatever, I feel like everybody is different where they have to deal with it differently because there's no cure that's across the board for that. Whereas I don't feel like I personally don't like taking medicine. I feel like, everything that's something you go to a doctor, they want to prescribe a medicine and it's trying to cure one thing and ail you in two other places or whatever. So, it's more to just dealing with anxiety than medicine or whatever. There's other tactics and techniques to deal with that and stuff. So that was just an example for that. So moving on real quick, I want to go into breaking the generational curses and breaking the cycle with relationships. So that's a big one. I feel like a lot of times most of our self is centered around relationships. So, for an example, and I'm not just putting this on anybody, so I'll use me in this example. I am 39 years old, and the fact that I'm not with anybody lets me know that it wasn't just them, if that makes sense. If you're single, and I'm not saying by choice because we got y'all independent women and we got some guys that don't need nobody or whatever. Oh, I'm single by choice. Oh, I don't need nobody. Oh, I'm out here living life or whatever. That's cool or whatever. But if you've been in any kind of relationship and you're single now, and if you've been in multiple relationships and you're single now, it couldn't have all been just them. You have to look down deep and see that, hey, part of it was me too. Let me explain. So, of course, you might have had people that done you bad, done this, done that, and I get that. But the part, so say if it was all them as far as that aspect, the part that falls on you is, well, why I keep attracting people like that towards me? That's where it comes in, where it's your fault. So again, I spoke on this a while back. I think it's like one of my first podcasts or whatever, and I say it a lot because I like going back and forth with things because they hold true to this day. Types over standards. Sometimes that type or whatever take you through the wire or whatever instead of you dealing with the standard that you have, and realizing that's what I need as opposed to the type that I want. Because again, I tell a lot of girls or whatever, especially some girls that deal with the things. I say, hey, look, I know you want somebody to be tall or whatever, taller than you, but your king could be 4'8", and I'm just saying that jokingly or whatever. But it could be, it could hold true or whatever. So a lot of times we miss out on blessings and we miss out on those good people because of us being caught up in a type instead of being caught up in a standard. And for breaking that cycle or whatever, you gotta know what makes you attached to a person. You have to pinpoint that and recognize that and see, hey, do I just cling to this person because this is the type of person that I like? But then I end up realizing that, hey, they doing me so bad or whatever because they see that I like them more than they like me. We've all been there at some point if we're single. So
Mhm.
let me look at the comments because they is lighting up.
You preaching right now, Sean.
Quail said, "Yeah, I know it's me sometimes, but I can take accountability. What if it's just been too good to the wrong people?" And I agree with you, Quail, because I've been good to a lot of people. I can't find too many exes. I think out of all my exes, maybe one, two and a possible. I'll say three. Three out of the 7, I will say that they'll probably still place the blame on me. And out of those three, one of those I can eat that it was completely me. And I'm grown enough to say that. But the other two, I feel like no, I feel like it was us together because if there's no compromise or whatever, then it's pointless. So I'm man enough to say that or whatever because I'm growing and I'm working on the inside and I'm trying to be woosah instead of being crash out Sean that I used to be. So yeah, there are times when you are good to the wrong people. So it's up to us to try to recognize that earlier than later that, hey, look, this person is meaning me no good or whatever. So maybe I need to fall back from them. Adrian said, yes, that's what I keep asking myself. What is it about me that I keep attracting the same person? I've been going away from my type and the same thing. I get it. Kay said, Quell Nisha, that's what I be saying too, Quell, for real, for real. Kay
Yeah,
said,
I feel you.
yeah.
Cause I
Kay
try
said,
the opposite. I try,
yeah.
I know what my preference is. The preference doesn't work. I try the opposite. I'm just like, yeah, this ain't working either.
Yeah, that's why I'm about to move overseas. I'm gonna try somebody that don't even speak English. Damn it. Kay said, Apostle Shawnee Sean. I try from time to time. Quell said, we just be giving out all this goodness to the wrong people. Amen.
Yeah, that's why I've been single for 5 years. Like
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't even been in the mood like even try to date anybody lately because it's exhausting.
I feel like a lot of times too, or whatever, that now, especially in today's dating scene, that when you try to date, I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman, but I can
Yeah,
speak for men.
well,
Yeah, I can speak for men. It feels like every time you get with a woman and you try to date her, you try to court her the right way, one or two things happen. You're either corny to them because you try to do things the right way because you're not as exciting as they want you to be or whatever, or two, you're constantly being tested or whatever. So something could happen and it could be a whole misunderstanding. But the first thing they do, oh, I knew you was like the other niggas. Is over. Wait a minute, what? Because I didn't answer my phone at 7:30 because I call you normally at 7:30 or whatever. Is it a possibility that something could have happened? Is it a possibility I could have been held up somewhere? It's a lot of things. I've also had told to me by another female that she said that, I'm so used to guys not doing what they say that they're going to do that when you did it, it scared me. And so sometimes when that person come along, you be like, "Whoa, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting that." And that's the same thing with women too, or whatever. I feel like sometimes a woman does more than you think she's going to do, or whatever. So that's kind of takes you aback, or whatever.
mm,
Kayla said, "Oh, well, I'm gonna read the comment." Quail said, "Do you know people will literally pull away from you because you make them feel things they have never felt. They get scared and go back to the old shit." Indeed. Kayla said, "Being single since 2016 is tough out here." And Kayla said Quail said she's been single for 4 years. Adrian said, "Yes, it's very exhausting." Kay said, "Girl, like literally." I know that's right. But again, so from the conversation, from what I hear, it's like a lot of people that want to be with people, but they just not with people. And I will say this because I've said this to somebody, especially somebody that's in this chat right now. If you're open to dating and if you want to find your person or whatever, then you have to make yourself available because your person's not going to be in your house.
I don't know who
And
he told that to, but I mean, you're not lying.
I know I hit a lot of people in the back of the head with that one, but I
I
mean, but
I
hear me out though.
all the time, like,
Yeah,
yeah. I
hear me
said,
out though.
I said maybe I need to go to Lowe's or something.
Somewhere, the grocery store, something.
Like, yeah, let me go to Home Depot or you
Don't
know,
go to the don't go to the courthouse and pay no taxes or nothing and expect to find the love of your life in there because he might be in there trying to bond out or whatever. But you know. But if you're not present on any kind of dating site, if you're not on any social media dating sites or whatever,
try that.
if you, if you're not going out to grocery stores, if you're not going to bars, if you're not going to the library, if you're not talking to people when people approach you or whatever, how do you expect to find somebody?
Same Quill. I agree. Yeah, same with that.
Yeah.
Oh, them dating sites are garbage. Like,
Oh yeah, I agree with you. But I was just using that as an example. But at least with you being out there, you can say, "Hey, look, I tried this." But if you're not doing anything, then you can't be mad at nobody but yourself if you're not finding people that you want to be around.
yeah, they be nasty.
Quail said that's why you have to hold back and let them show you how they feel. Absolutely.
Right,
But
Kay?
listen, I Quail, I agree with that to an extent. Now, if a person I say this: if a person is sitting here showing you who they are or whatever, whether they put it in words or not, because a lot of times words are just words. But if they showing you that this is who they are and this is how they are, then hell, tell them how you feel. And if they feel the same way, good. And if not, then at least you know. And then you'll know that you need to back off a little bit when it comes to that situation. Because if we both shy and we both sit here thinking, "Oh man, what if? Oh man, I like her, but I don't know if she like me or whatever." Then y'all both sit here looking at each other dumb when y'all could be working on something beautiful. Adrian said, "Nah, they better knock on my door." Quail said, "Yeah, but I'm not begging for it. I'm preparing myself." Well, there's a difference between begging and stating how you feel or whatever. Begging is you mean standing outside your house or whatever with a boombox in the rain, baby, come back. No, I'm not doing that. But again, I am old enough and grown enough, and I articulate well enough to have a conversation to be like, hey, I like you. I'm feeling you. I'm trying to see if you're feeling the same way to see where we're going to take this. It's simple. You might feel bad at first or whatever, or the first time you do it because you get them butterflies in your stomach. But look, closed mouths don't get fed. You can't eat with your mouth closed, no matter how hard you try, not unless you got an end tube or something. So Kayla said, maybe I need to go to the golf course or business meetings. Adrian said, grocery store is the worst. I've met creeps from there. I've never met nobody at a grocery store or whatever. That's just
Me
me.
neither.
No, dating sites, them people be weirder than the people you actually know.
Uh, yeah, they
And
do.
Kay said, maybe if I become a Craigslist killer 2.0, I have a chance. No, I'm playing. Oh, yeah. And then she began to sing, baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Quail said, yeah, I'm an open person. So, yeah, closed mouths don't get fed. And I feel like another thing that's true to that as well. We so much worship and idolize that, that social media elite relationship that we see people on social media portraying, but those people are not at peace at all. So we have to stop idolizing that and start prioritizing peace.
Mm. I be
Because
people in real life, so
yeah, I know I have met and I have dated girls that were pretty as fuck, personality shitty, never a moment's rest with them, and that's not no way to live at all. At the end of the day, we want peace, and at least in our household or whatever. I'm not trying to be out here with nobody or rocking with nobody that I can't even rest when I'm home. That's not it.
hmm
Okay.
I think not all, but I think some people um you know how back in the day, the women would stick around a lot more because the guy was like the breadwinner and they knew he was like doing dirt, but they were like, oh well, as long as he's coming home and taking care of these bills and blah 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 blah, they kind of stuck around. But me personally, I'm not doing that. I
Yeah, that's a lot. I can't expect you can't expect a woman to do that nowadays or whatever because they seen grandma go through it and auntie go through it or whatever. So yeah,
yeah,
that's not happening.
seen that stuff firsthand. Like,
Amen. K. Peace and head. That's all we. That's all we really need.
and then you got to think about it, like if it's constantly something going on, you got kids in that environment. Like, you don't want your kids growing up and thinking that's acceptable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just a lot with that kind of.
There's a lot of messed up people out here dating because of things they seen when they were growing up, and they feel like that's normal, and it's not. Adrian said it right. I met a fine guy from the grocery store a couple months ago, but was creepy and had no sense of humor.
Oh Lord.
Mm. And Quail said, peace and head is right. Listen, I don't care what nobody said. Head can solve a lot of the world's problems. I guarantee it.
Y'all crazy.
Absolutely. At least you know we crazy. So, real quick, just going to go off to the next part. We're going to break the cycle on, living paycheck to paycheck, our wealth, our earnings, our income, what makes us wealthy, what makes us comfortable. Because at the end of the day, you need money to live. And I guarantee that you're a lot more peaceful and a lot more comfortable living when you have the money that you need, as opposed to you're out here scrambling trying to make it. Those are things like, and we talked about lessons from the block a few weeks ago, or whatever things we wish we learned, when we were younger that we know now, whatever, like balancing a checkbook, how to be responsible with credit cards and stuff. And so yeah, they I feel like, and I always say I feel like because I don't want to push my narrative on anybody else, but I feel like that this country sets us up for generational poverty, excuse me, because they make people so reliant on certain things that they feel like they can't do better if they didn't have them. When I was like in my 20s, probably late 20s, I heard a young girl say this, and this has always stuck with me over the years, and I've never forgot it. And this girl said, I can't wait till I turn 18 so I can get my own place in the projects. I kid you not. She said that, and I was like, wow, what are we what are we teaching our kids, and what are we teaching, the ones coming after us, that's a way to live. That is not something that you should be aspiring to do. And then you see, I don't know how it is where you live, but I've seen people here, if I go through the projects or whatever, and these are not older people, because the older people I kind of get it, kind of, but it's like people our age or whatever, and they live in these houses. And shout out to the projects, because I'm a project baby. I came for the projects, but breathe.
Okay.
But when you our age or whatever, you make plans like you out here planting flowers in the projects. I cannot do it. You should strive to want to be out of there before those flowers bloom. It's meant to be a stepping stone, not to make a career out of. I've seen people turn down job promotions because they didn't want to lose their Medicaid or food stamps.
Or quit or went part time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably getting into something else, but I feel like if people use the system the way that it was designed for, then we would probably be in a better predicament.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. The fact that you don't want to take this promotion because you're afraid your food stamps going to get cut off, or take it a step further, that the fact that you don't want your man in the house or whatever, because if you do, then you're going to get your benefits cut. That's so the projects, the way it came about or whatever, it was the government saying, hey, look, we want you and your kids to come here and live for free or for cheaper. The only difference is the man can't be in the house or whatever. And that broke up a lot of families.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody watches BMF, but on BMF this season, the mother, Meech and Big T's mother, is going to the welfare office to get food stamps and stuff. And she made the mistake of saying, "Oh yeah, the man's in the house, but he can't work because he hurt his hand or whatever." Oh, the first thing they said, "Oh, you got a man in the house? Oh, we can't give you nothing." So
Mm-hmm.
this made her come home and get mad at her husband or ex husband because he's still at the house, still trying to help out or whatever. Oh, you need to leave. You do everybody a favor if you just wasn't here because I can't even get any help or whatever. And that's a terrible mindset to have. I hate that it feels like that, especially our people, because it feels like it's more pushed towards our people than any other race. So it feels like that we're on that type time where, okay, if a man's in the house or whatever, that we can't get the help that we need. So let's have him or sneak him in, not put him on the lease or whatever. So at least we can get the benefits that we need or whatever. Adrian said, generations in the projects should be a stepping stone, not you live there for life. Absolutely. Uh, Kayla said, got duct tape on the AC. Okay. And Quell said, pulled her shirt down and went back and got them benefits, didn't she? Yeah, she did. She went back and got them benefits. She said, oh, yeah, ain't no man in the house. She had to show that cleavage a little bit, but she got them. And Adrian said the system is designed to tear apart the black family. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And Kayla said, yeah, she became single real fast. Yeah, she did. But yeah, we have to stop living like that. And again, I know it's hard living from paycheck to paycheck because I've been there, and I'm kind of like at a point in my life now where I got a little bit of leeway or whatever, not too much, but just a little bit. So I understand that struggling where you have to go to work because if you don't make it, then you ain't gonna make it. So
Right.
yeah, yeah, I get that. But that's why I said that's one of the things that I personally need to work on because I have to set myself up for tomorrow as opposed to just living for right now and for the future, or whatever. So I never push those problems or I never push those examples out on anybody else because I lived that. So that's me too, or whatever. So again, if it takes you getting a side hustle, I ain't talking about rapping in your homeboy basement or whatever, but I feel like we need to start investing in stuff. And it seems like, oh yeah, I can't do that or whatever. Absolutely, yes, you can. I was just looking at I was looking at an account that I had open like years ago, and I put 8 cent in there. I just put 8 cent in there, so it was taking like the change from every leftover dollar. And this was like a year ago, and that 8 cent it turned into like $37. And I'm sitting here slapping myself in the back of the head because if I was actually taking money that I have blown over the years and put into that account, ain't no telling how much money would be in there or whatever.
It's crazy that you talk about that because I was talking to somebody earlier, and I said, I said I'll say that I'm gonna do so, but then when I have the pep talks with myself, like, girl, why you lying? Because I said that once my car was paid off, I was gonna take that whole car payment and put it in like a separate account and not touch it. I haven't done that, and
Me neither.
we it's almost 8 months later, so I'm just like, yeah, do better, girl.
Yeah, we got to do better, man. And that's again, it was told to me, hey, look, all that stuff, all that partying, all that extra stuff is going to be there. We got to start making the moves right now so we can live comfortable in the future. Because again, I don't think our generation is going to see Social Security. They keep pushing the finish line back. You got to be about 90 almost to get it. So yeah, we
I
got to
don't
make.
get like full benefit. I think it says like 70 or 72 when I look on the Social Security website. I was just like, man, that's a long time from now.
Yeah, I really just want to stack money and then go move to another country because it's a lot cheaper to live over there. Because yeah, we're not making it here in America because ain't no fucking way. 72, you about in the grave at 72 or whatever. You ain't gonna be able to enjoy nothing.
People living like some of the like older people are living longer now. I was reading up on that.
Mm, because they still working,
They retire and then go back to work because they can't live off of their checks. Like
right?
it's sad. Like if you just sit down and think about it, like that makes
Adrian,
me
I feel you. I do not want to work until I'm 72. There's no
me
fucking
neither.
way. Matter of fact, I want to be done within the next 10 to 12 years.
Ain't lying. I'm just like, man, dang, like I'm 39 now. Like, good gracious, like
I promise you, if I get the VA to push my money up just a little bit more, just a little bit more, whatever. By the time my son turned 18, I promise you I'm gonna be set for life. I'm out of here. Cause ain't no fucking way I'll be working in this country. Paying taxes on shit that I own that I paid for, and then paying taxes just to work.
I hate taxes with a passion.
To go into a system that I'll never benefit from. There's no way. We're paying Social Security and everything into a system that we probably will never benefit from.
They take a lot of taxes out in Social Security.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then wonder why people doing all these Ponzi schemes and stuff or whatever, because don't nobody want to work that hard or whatever. This is the only country that does that.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian said her sister lives in the Dominican Republic and loves it. And I bet you she living lovely. Excuse me. She's living lovely over there for half the cost of what we paying over here. I just I just don't see it being feasible to set up for retirement here or whatever without working yourself to death or whatever. Because by the time you get everything paid off, or by the time you get to where you can actually breathe a little bit, you're not going to be in the physical shape to enjoy it. Adrian, tell your sister, give your sister my information or whatever. Tell her I'm looking for a house. I got to get out of here. Every time I speak about this, it's just more and more me saying that, hey, look, I got to go. Again, if nobody's serious about Sean by the time my son turned 18 or whatever, it's over. I'm out of here. That is one of my goals that I sat down and wrote down this week or whatever, because I wrote down my little plans and stuff or whatever. But I want to be finished with this these IT certificates or whatever, so I can work remotely, so I do not have to be here because it's not working. And she said, okay, she has land and plans on building apartments. I know that's right. Please tell her I'll be good for massa. I gotta get out of here. All right, so I was not gonna do it this week, but Quana asked me to. So
No, I didn't.
you already know what time it is. It's time for the wild segment.
Sean, you be lying. I didn't know you lied this bad.
You're just gonna put me out there in front of people like that, huh? Okay. And I'm
It's
supposed to
all
be
it's all it's all love though.
nah, I'm supposed to be your boo, and you just this supposed to be
Yeah, you
family business.
are.
Nah, ain't no way.
You are. Don't act
I
like
never told them. I never told nobody about that little nasty stuff you be asking me about or whatever. But then you gonna put me out here like that? It's okay.
Sean.
Anyway,
You lie.
it's the wild side segment. So never again. You know, this is the part of the show where we ask the questions and we keep it grown, a little unfiltered, and just take it there. So, Quana, question. Since it's only me and you today, and y'all can chime in the comments if you want to as well. Have you ever been in a situation with somebody that you met? You know, things be going good or whatever. You feel like this is your person, and then all of a sudden, when y'all decide to take that step or whatever, it just get real weird, and you be like, never again.
Well, I always do at least two, just in case they were nervous the first time.
Oh, so you nasty, nasty. Okay, go ahead.
But the second time, if it's not, then no.
Well, we're not talking about so as like, okay, they didn't perform the way they were
Oh,
supposed to, but like, say if they just did something just like weird.
it depends on how weird.
Lord, now they want to answer the phone. Call the phone. Hold on 1 minute. Yo, bro, what's good?
Yo, what up, brother?
What's good, man?
Chilling, man. What you gotta do?
I'm on the podcast.
Oh, damn, my bad. All right, real quick. What day? Monday, y'all?
Yeah.
Say what?
Tell everybody what's up.
What up, podcast?
Can y'all hear him?
What up, stranger?
She said, "What up, stranger?"
Yeah, I'll be back soon one of these days.
All right.
Friday.
I got you, bro. Yeah. Shout out to Keish, man. He's trying to check on me, make sure everything going all right. Gotta get these weekly spade games in.
Yeah, I had the same question, Adrian. It depends. What do you mean?
So, for an example, this was an example that somebody told me in my inbox, and I ain't gonna put that person out there. But he said, "Look, I met this woman at a bar. She had that old school Mary J. Blige vibe. Had the knee high boots on, attitude to match. We start drinking, start feeling each other. One thing led to another. We ended up back at her crib. She pulled out a bottle of Hennessy and a plate of spicy lemon pepper wings. I thought I was in heaven. Fast forward to the bedroom, and let me just say, never trust a woman who calls herself Miss Toxic on Tuesday. So I guess that she wasn't as clean as she portrayed herself to be.
I think I don't know if it's like I mean I would think it would be normal for anybody, but if they like stink or something like the
Oh, you dealt with that?
yeah feet the
My
feet the
yeah,
feet were just ugh.
yeah. My thing was dealing with the actual husband. So yeah,
Oh yeah
yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
you yeah
I'm no stranger to my life or whatever. I told y'all, like I said, I'm dealing with this girl. I didn't even know she was married. So,
I wouldn't classify that as weird. Um, that would be like toxic.
well,
Um,
he goes
but
on to say, so real quick, he goes on to say, not only that, but she tried to manifest a baby. She wanted to burn incense and she wanted to pray on her stomach that she have a baby.
and he just met her.
Just met her.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
yeah, that's weird.
So you hear women saying things that they meet people all the time or whatever, and they meet guys and they be like, "Oh shit, that was, yeah, never again" or whatever.
Oh wait, guys do that too though.
Yeah, we come across that a lot or whatever. But the difference is we only speak of it amongst ourselves, where you ladies take the social media and y'all air people out or whatever. Not you. I'm just saying women in general. Kay said, "Ho, is you cool?" Adrian said, "While in the mix, oh no,
Them
Adrian,
they
you
be talking about babies and stuff too. Be talking crazy.
yeah, Adrian, you say you come across creeps all the time or whatever. Tell us one of your creep stories." So Kayla said, "One time in my life, I met this guy 8 hours away, and I was fitting to suck his life away. And holy moly shit, his dick air stunk so bad, I had to head the fuck out. And safe to say, I left his ass right the fuck there." I almost threw up everywhere. Ain't no fucking way.
Oh my God, Kayla, I feel so bad for you.
Wait a minute, dick air? Hold the fuck up. I'm sorry. Is your son around?
Oh, he in this room.
Okay, I ain't want him to hear that. What the fuck is dick air?
I ain't have to stay over too long.
I'm not messing with y'all. Are you still at work?
Yeah, I'm about to log out now.
Wait a minute. You've been working this whole time?
Do you see me looking around?
I thought you was going through withdrawals or something. I didn't know what you was doing.
Mm-mm. Going through withdrawals. Sean, boy. See, I ain't gonna fuss you out in front of these nice people, but I got you.
Case Case said, ew. And Kayla said, I was so motherfucking ready too. Ain't no fucking way.
8 hours? Girl, did you curse him out? I just need to know that. Did you curse him out? Because he
Did
deserved it.
Well, if he drove eight, or did you drive 8 hours, or did he drive 8 hours? Because after 8 hours, you probably needed to go freshen up or whatever. But yeah, that's disgusting.
Very.
And I got a weak stomach. I would have threw up everywhere.
How you a CNA and got a weak stomach?
Trust me, it's a thing. When I went and got my CNA license, the first time I had to give a smog, they had to pull me out that room and sit me down, go get me a Pepsi because I almost threw up everywhere.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm one of them
I
fighting.
took I took the class in high school, but the two times I took the test, the first time I didn't pass by 7 points. The second time it was by like 4 points. So I didn't get my license, but I mean it was
Yeah,
cool, but I don't like number two. Like it just.
yeah. So I'm more of a behavior tech.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I deal. I like to deal with the mental health patients on the side of CNA as opposed to the full care
Oh,
because I
okay,
rather
okay.
I rather fight than wipe. But that's just me.
Yeah, I feel you.
Adrian said this was years ago. I went back to Dude house and his bathroom was filthy. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Went back a second time and he had a pile of trash swept up in the corner of his bathroom a week later. I pulled the shower curtain back till it was black. I never spoke to him again after I left. Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Kayla said, laugh out loud. I drove 8 hours. I had family out there, so I met up with him. And oh my God, it was insane work. I wanted to suck his soul, and it disappointed me so bad.
Dang.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
That is about as terrible as going to get something to eat that you figure was good, but then it don't taste as like you imagine it to taste or whatever. Ain't no fucking way.
Mm. Mm. Adrian, you should have helped them out then.
It was the same pile from the first time I went to his house. Like, really?
Oh damn.
Yeah, ain't no help for that. I don't know. So what is this? So I want everybody, if they can, and I'll go first or whatever, to name one cycle that you're trying to break currently in any situation, whether it be relationships with your family or with your finances. So for me, I think it's going to be mine is going to be financial. I'm trying to break that financial. I want to be comfortable. I want to make sure that I have that, that safety net in case I ever have to fall back on everything. So that's what I'm working towards right now. That involves me going back to school because I'm about to go get these IT certifications so I can get a better job and possibly really get out the nursing field working full time or whatever. Because, amen. Adrian, you just took the words right out my mouth. I am tired of struggling. Yeah. So again, I got it better than a lot of people do, but I could always be better and I could always do better. I want my son to be able to know that, hey, look, if you do things the right way the first time or whatever, you don't have to worry about it. So, and
Um. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I was waiting on you.
Hold on 1 second.
I didn't know you had a twin.
It should have.
I got you.
Okay, there we go. Um. I would say finances is a big one, but I mean, I'm kind of the reason behind that. But I could do better. I'll say that. Um. And then I'll say also more on the I don't know how to categorize it, but I guess giving myself a little more grace when it comes to things, um, because I'm harder on myself than I am on other people, and you know,
Got you. Nothing wrong with
well,
that.
you know that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Adrian said finances because she's tired of struggling. Kay said, oh, fuck family. Faith, fuck my husband. I know that's right. And I agree with that 100%. Adrian, someone would like our lifestyle, but no, I need to do better. Amen. Yeah, because there's some people that wish they could be in the position that we're in, and I get that
Yeah,
or whatever. But once you're in that position, you should always want to elevate, especially when you've been
yeah,
here for so long.
of course.
And Kayla said, "I want to be financially free." And Kay said, "Doing better with my finances, remaining peaceful, and stop giving so much grace, and stop giving so much grace and mercy out." Okay.
Hmm.
And Kayla said, "I want to
That
stop
one,
being so.
Kayla. That one.
I want to be stopped. Be. I want to stop being so giving and helping people that don't deserve it. I don't. I feel like I want to start helping. I want to help those because that's the way God leads my heart. But I also want to make sure that I'm sowing into people that actually sow back into me, because there's a lot of people out here that'll just take, and they never give. And when you draw
Hmm.
all the water out the bucket, eventually that bucket becomes empty if you're not putting anything back into it.
Hmm. That
So
is
yeah.
true.
All right then. So again, we're at the end of another episode. And again, I truly want to thank everybody who tuned in or whatever, especially from YouTube, Instagram, because again, I'm just going live over there first couple of times, just trying to get my feet wet. I'm actually going to keep doing this show every Friday, but I'm also going to do like a little side show or whatever. And this one is going to be strictly on TikTok, because doing TikTok this way or whatever is kind of stressful. So I just want to do TikTok by itself or whatever. Strawberry, what's going on, Mama? She said, being stronger in my faith and having more healthy attachments. Amen. And Adrian said, "Yes, I'm there too, ladies. Yes, sow into fertile ground, Sean." And Kay said, "I want to be able to bless someone once a month, whether it's helping them pay a bill, buy them groceries, whatever." Yeah, I get that. I know one time I used to go out and just, I see somebody walking down the street and they just look like they need it. I watch them for a little bit, and then I just walk up to them and hand them $20 and tell them to pay it forward when they could, and just walk off. Yeah, but again, I'm gonna start doing like I said, TikTok by itself or whatever. So if you aren't, please follow me on my podcast TikTok, which is the Woke and Wild podcast. I greatly appreciate it. Definitely gonna try to get the numbers up over there. Probably be a little bit more indirect and a little bit more grown over there. See how it works out before they block me or ban me. But yeah, and I haven't really put anything into works for next week, but I will post it at least by Tuesday and let everybody know. Um, Again, thank you, Miss Quana, for helping me out once again. Really appreciate you. Truly
No
appreciate you.
problem.
Kay, Kay, I know you got a lot going on, but I appreciate you as well. Definitely want to make sure we see you back here soon. Adrian, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you. You've been here for a couple of weeks or whatever. I had to get you on the
Sure,
podcast
Roger.
one night, see what it do. Yeah, everybody else that tuned in too, Strawberry, Kayla, Quail, everybody else from Instagram, YouTube, appreciate y'all. Uh, Want to hold back for a minute.
Okay.
Again, I want to thank y'all, and just remember, breaking the cycle is not easy, but it's necessary. And if whether it's your family, emotional neglect, toxic love life, your bank account, never seeing commas in it, it starts and stops with you. Only you can change it. Because again, we can sit around and complain so much about how much stuff is wrong in our life, but if we ain't doing nothing to change it, then we are part of the problem and not part of the solution. So, just real quick, Adrian said AOK. Kay said you're welcome. All right. Well, I'm about to go on and get off of here. Again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Oh, real quick, I'm sorry before I forget. Kay's podcast, Clock It with Kay, Sunday at 7 or 8. I don't remember what you said. I want to say 7.
It's usually 7.
Yeah, 7. I didn't know she had changed it this week. Clock It with Kay, 7 o'clock Sunday. And Quell will be probably next week, but hers is normally on Thursdays, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But again, thank
You
y'all
gotta
all.
start sharing. Sharing. I gotta follow Quill. Because I'll be forgetting on Thursday.
7. So I share both of theirs to my page every week. It's
Okay.
up there. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
But thank y'all again. Hope everybody has a good night and a great weekend. Peace.